Assalamu alaikum. Today we will discuss biconditional effects. That is the continuation of the last video in which we also discussed biconditional effects of two moderators, and today again we will use two moderators to compute the biconditional effects of moderators on the x and y relationships. However, today we will use template 3, which appears like this, and you can see that x and y relationship is first moderated by m or moderator 1 and then by the moderator 2 w. However, in contrast to the last video, today first moderator 1 and moderator 2 will interact with each other and then affect the x and y relationship. In our last two videos on moderation or conditional effects, in Model 1 we used one moderator to change the relationships of x and y. Then we used Model 2 to test what happens when two moderators are used to change the relationships between x and y variables. However, today we are using again two variables, but they will be interacting in the model differently from the Model 2, and that is both the moderators, they will also interact with each other before affecting x and y relationships, while in Model 2 both the moderators, they were acting separately and nothing was added to the total computation of effects of x and y regarding the interaction of moderator 1 and moderator 2. So the model we are using today is Model 3, where we have mapped our research variables, which are awareness about democracy as the x variable. It will affect the test variable or y variable, which is perceptions about democracy in Pakistan. You can see the question is that how much or how far the awareness about democracy of the respondents affects their perceptions about the democracy in Pakistan. This relationship will then be tested through using moderators, that how far these moderators change the direct effect of x on y. The moderator social media will be used as a continuous variable, while the gender will be used as dichotomous or two-way variable to change the direct effects of x on y. As we have said before, in Model 3, these two moderators will also interact with each other, or this model gives the provision to compute the interaction of m and w and x, m and w. Therefore, the Model 3 gives 4 interaction terms, or we can say that two moderators are converted 7 variables or 7 predictors variables as predictors of the y variable. For example, here we can see that the interaction terms are 4: x and m, x and w, x, m and w, and m and w. So there are 4 interaction terms, or 4 additional variables has been created to compute the direct effects of x on y in the presence of two variables which are operating in this form. Here we can see that 4 interaction terms and 3 variables are also there in the form of predictors of the dependent variable y variable. So in this background, we will construct our research question as how moderator 1 and moderator 2 change the direct effects of x on y while interacting with each other simultaneously. If that is the question, then we can construct the hypothesis where we can simply say that moderator 1 and moderator 2 are significantly changing the direct effect of x on y while interacting with each other simultaneously. So, to compute statistics about the interaction of the moderators with the xy relationship, let's go to the SPSS and compute the statistics and come back with the results for discussion. So let's leave for SPSS to fetch the statistics and test our hypothesis. To compute statistics to answer our research question regarding the impact of two moderators which are first interacting with each other and then affecting the x and y relationship, we will use the same database, and to compute the interactions, let's activate the process model. Now we will transfer our variables to the appropriate boxes in this window. Awareness about democracy is independent variable. Perceptions about democracy in Pakistan, that is the dependent variable, which we are testing for how is it affected by awareness about democracy. So outcome variable or dependent variable will be perceptions about democracy in Pakistan. Social media as the moderator 1. In M box, it is not the mediator, rather it will work as the moderator 1, and then gender as the second moderator. We will go to the options, total effect, and the 3 decimal places for all the outputs. Continue, and finally we will select Model-3 to process the interactions of these x and y variables and 2 moderators. In the research question we are using or the hypothesis we have made. Let's press OK and wait for the results. The results always take some time, some moments. Here are the results. I have posted these as I do in all of my videos, taken to the slideshow where we will discuss the outputs and answer the research question, test the hypothesis, and conclude about the research question as well as the use of Model 3 for testing the role of 2 moderators. So let's go to the back to the slideshow. Okay, so we are back with the outputs from the SPSS using process macro Model 3 regarding our research question and the hypothesis about the x and y relationships with the role of 2 moderators, one continuous moderator and the other dichotomous or two-way moderator. The sample size of the database is 243. There are 243 respondents. The results related to the interactions between the model. The first output is as usual about the dependent variable perceptions about democracy in Pakistan, which according to our assumptions and hypothesis is affected by the x variable, 2 moderators, and the interaction terms which have been computed by the process macro to check the effects of two moderators on the direct effects of x and y variable. Here we can see that R square, which shows that 69% of change in the dependent variable is coming out of these 7 variables, 3 variables and 4 interaction terms. The result is also significant because the p-value is far less than 0.05, it is 0.000. However, when we look at the coefficients to check the individual role of all 7 variables, we find that only 2 variables, the predictor x variable itself and the interaction term 1, that is about x variable and multiplied by moderator 1, these 2 variables are giving significant results. However, the relation of x variable with the dependent variable is coming with a negative sign. However, it is significant as per t-score 2.38, which is far greater than 1.96, p-value is less than 0.05, and there is minus sign on both the limits of confidence interval, so meaning that there is no zero between. So it is also showing that the impact of x variable on the perceptions about democracy in Pakistan is significant, however negative. Similarly, the interaction term with coefficient of interaction term 1 with coefficient of 0.24 is significant as t-score is far greater than 1.96, p-value is also significant, less than 0.05, and both the upper and lower limits of confidence interval, they have positive signs, so there is no chance of zero between the limits. So 2 variables out of 7 variables have emerged as significant and significantly affecting the dependent variable with a score of 0.69 or 69% variation in the dependent variable because of all these variables. However, 5 variables are insignificant with insignificant statistics at t levels as well as lower and upper limits of confidence intervals of all 5 variables is insignificant. The next output which gives us the guidance about that interaction term 1 was computed using x variable multiplied by social media moderator 1. As I have already told that this multiplication is not direct. First, both the x and the m or w or any mediator or moderator are centered, and then the outputs of the centered scores are multiplied to get the product of interaction. So interaction 1 represents x multiplied by moderator 1, interaction 2 is the output of x multiplied by gender, interaction 3 is the moderator 1 multiplied by moderator 2, and the fourth final interaction is between the 3 variables of x, moderator 1 and moderator 2. Further, R square increase due to 3-way interaction is 0 as well as it is insignificant. The next and the most important output from the use of Model 3 in process macro is the actual results which help the researcher to answer the research questions or test the hypothesis. For example, conditional effect of x on y at the values of moderators. Moderator gender, it has been used, and the moderator 1 the social media, it has also been used to represent the conditional effects of X on Y by moderator 1 and moderator 2. For example, we can see that the results of social media has been grouped into three classes or three scores, thereby dividing all the respondents, in this case females, into three groups, and likewise the males have also been grouped into three different groups according to the score on social media. For example, group 1 has the score on social media which is 4.25, the second group has 4.88, and the group with maximum score on social media is 5.5. So the same three levels have also been used to analyze the results of male respondents. We can see that only one group in the female side, one group that is having the maximum score on social media, is giving significant results with the effect of 0.245, t-score 3.058, far greater than required minimum of 1.96, and both the lower and upper limits of confidence interval, they have got positive signs, so there is no chance of zero between the range. So only this result where female respondents group with score of 5.5 on social media is affecting the Y variable indirectly along with the X variable with significant results that are supported by the supporting statistics like t-score and p-score. In the bottom, there is given conditional effect of XM interaction at values of the W or moderator 2. Overall, the female group is coming up with significant effect as it is in this analysis with effect of 0.241, t-score is greater than 1.96, p-value is less than 0.05, and both the upper and lower limits of confidence interval, since they have positive signs, so they are showing significance. To conclude our discussions about the application of Model 3 for answering the research question of what happens to the X and Y relationship if two moderators are included. Following conclusions can be drawn from the preceding analysis of Model 3 in conditionally changing the direct effects of X on Y. 4 interaction terms needed to measure the role of two moderators in the form exhibited in the model. Moderator 1 first, affecting moderator 2, and then X and Y relationship. Female respondents with score of 5.5 on social media has effect of 0.245 on the test variable indirectly. However, final conclusion is that none of the male 3 groups has given significant results regarding their indirect effects on Y. So that was all about the use of Model 3. Thanks a lot for watching the video. See you in the next video, which is about the mediator versus moderator. This video about mediator versus moderator is actually the answers to a lot of questions I have received since we are publishing lectures about the mediation, moderation and moderated mediation. The questions are about different aspects of the models and their applications, about the research questions and the hypothesis, and many other aspects, but all of those questions actually refer to the similar contents. So we shall explain mediator and moderator in the next video for the understanding of the viewers and the audience. See you in the next video. Khuda Hafiz.